FG, we are not responsible for petrol price hike. Women no longer need husband's approval letter for visa clearance, says NDLEA. Defense headquarters dismisses Dokubo's threat to shoot down military helicopter. Appeal court dismisses Fubara's case, affirms judgment nullifying passage of Rivers 2024 budget. Summary of the news. The federal government has said it is not responsible for the hike in the pump price of petrol. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris explained that the NNPCL made the decision in response to prevailing circumstances in the energy industry, emphasizing that it did not act on any instruction from the federal government, as the government can no longer fix prices of petroleum products in line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA). He said with the subsidy regime ending since May 2023, the NNPCL had only been paying differential to keep the price within the range it had been, but the company said it could no longer absorb the losses. The differential you are seeing is as a result of different factors. One of them is the crisis in the Middle East. There is volatility in the market. Therefore, NNPC cannot continue to absorb these losses for Nigeria because as a limited liability company, it will be operating at a loss, he said. Source Daily Trust. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has announced that married women will no longer be required to present a letter of approval from their husbands to obtain visa clearance for international travel. The agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, in a statement said the entire procedure for visa clearance issued by the NDLEA as required by some countries is currently undergoing review, and the requirement for a married woman to present a letter of approval from her husband to travel is one of the items that the agency has since jettisoned as a non-mandatory item on the list. The inclusion of that item ab initio arose following some ugly developments in some source countries. Source Nigerian Tribune. The Defense Headquarters (DHQ) had described as laughable aside Dokubo's threat to shoot down military helicopter hovering over his house. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba, who called Dokubo's bluff, dared the former militant leader to come on the battlefield to experience the capacity of the military. Dokubo had on October 5th threatened to shoot down a military helicopter hovering over his residence. Buba said, now, to comment by an individual that he can shoot down military helicopters, I think that's laughable, and I'm about to laugh about that. And I say that because, you know, we are in a democracy and we are professional. Of course, we cannot just, based on somebody's comment, begin to do certain things. They will accuse the military of being undemocratic. I tell you that he doesn't have that capability, but I will allow the security forces that are responsible for handling such cases to take up the matter. Source Leadership Newspaper. The Court of Appeal in Abuja on Thursday dismissed an appeal filed by Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers to challenge the lower court judgment affirming Martin Amaewhule-led Rivers House of Assembly. A three-member panel of justices led by Justice Oyewole on a unanimous judgment affirmed the January 22nd judgment by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja, nullifying the passage of Rivers State 800 billion naira 2024 budget by 4 members of the House of Assembly. Justice Oyewole held that the appeal was bereft of merit, pointing out that Fubara, having withdrew his counter affidavits and other processes filed at the lower court, cannot turn around to appeal a matter that had been terminated. Source Daily Post. Follow for more. October 10th, 2024.